Hi everyone, my name is Starlight Friedenberg, and today my video and the purpose of it is really just to provide some clarity, some context on the elephant slaps girl twice video and lifts her up because that person was me. So I definitely want to say that that was one of the most traumatic things I've obviously ever experienced in my life. And I still have to say, actually watching the video back versus actually having been the person in real life, it's just actually two complete separate experiences, because when you're there, do you realize how fragile life is and how powerful nature is, and animals of nature, and especially elephants, who are massive, intelligent creatures. I wanted to use this opportunity to provide context and some background so people can understand and address all of the comments, because I'm actually quite surprised that I'm getting quite a lot of views on this, and thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So let's step back to how did this all pan out and start. So context of the situation is that I went away on holiday in South Africa with my best friend and her family, and we went on a safari, and what you sit in is a very open vehicle. So as you can see, there's literally no doors, so you feel somewhat protected and on the move. But when I encountered the situation that I did you just say to yourself, I said to myself, oh my gosh, we are so exposed and so vulnerable. What ended up happening, and I have to say unfortunately and hopefully not too negatively, is that I don't think our game ranger was very competent. What ended up happening is we got to a fork in the road where we could either go left or right, and we saw a herd of elephants on the right. And prior to my understanding of the context, he was hesitating for a moment whether he should go left or right. So he decided to take left. We asked, why did you go left and not right? And he said, what you have to understand is that elephant never goes alone. They're always in a herd. And you never, ever, rule number one, in a safari, want to get caught in the middle of a herd of elephants. So he said, okay, definitely don't want that. So we went on our merry way. What ended up happening is that there must have been a really big herd, I'm not really sure, but seems to have found ourselves in the middle of a herd of elephants. So what decision the ranger made is that we're just going to end up and park on the left. And I, of course, as a tourist, was taking photos. And then what ended up happening, which you wouldn't have seen in the video, but I cut obviously the main section or the dramatic section out so people could see, is that there was quite a number of elephants walking past us, probably about 5 or 6, but you just caught the last couple. So what I ended up doing is there's a rail covering the seat. So I had my camera faced here and I had my arm on top of the railing. So basically I stood still like this, and not standing still because I had to, it's because I was actually completely terrified and frozen, because these elephants were walking one by one and it was seeming to go from the smallest to the biggest. And they would flare, they'd stop in front of the car, flare, sort of say, is this a threat and whatever. And then you sit there thinking how what looks like 3 seconds ends up being like in your mind like a minute, and you're like, oh my God, what if this elephant actually goes and attacks the car and pushes it over? We're completely vulnerable. Like, what would we do? And then there's like thousands. What if they stampede us? So it's really, really like, super dramatic and very stressful. So you just freeze. And then one went by, another one went by. But the thing is, as one was going by, you think like, oh my God, the terror is over, it's finished. But then you turn and then you just hear another one coming and you think, oh my gosh, this is going to happen again. So every time another one went by, I just thought like, oh, can it stop? That clicking that you hear was me actually trying to zoom in, because I had no context of understanding. Was I super zoomed in? Could you see the elephants from down there? I don't know, because I thought this is a once in a lifetime footage I'm going to be gathering. There was no flash because of course we're in the middle of the day, so there was a lot of comments about flashes. There was no flashes. But what I just did, and I think in part of being traumatized and completely scared, I just kept going like this, maybe twitching, who knows, just out of fear. So I just kept pushing up. What I do think is, yes, I agree with a lot of the comments. Elephants are intelligent and they probably know exactly what a camera is, and they probably hate it and they hate tourists, because why are we in their space and in their territory? Completely valid. And I think what was happening is the elephant was coming for the camera, but because the camera was on my face, I obviously got the brunt of it. So it's completely scary because I thought, why stop on my side? Why in the back? There's 3 rows. Why me? Anyway, so the elephant first came in with his trunk trying to like smell, suss what's up. And then he wanted to like hit the camera. So he hit me like this, kind of like that. So I was like, ooh. And then obviously he didn't get quite the reaction. Maybe I bounced back. I'm not really, I don't really remember that much. But then he was like, okay, that didn't get the reaction I needed to get the camera away, which he probably was trying to communicate to me. So he ended up doing like a proper one. So poof, like proper smacked me. If you hear this like in the background sound, that's my friend laughing at me getting hit. Which after I was like, what's wrong with you? I nearly died. But she was basically laughing out of fear because that was her go-to defensive mechanism. But yeah, so basically the elephant hit me second time and then the camera kind of went back. So it kind of went like that and I dropped it. And then the elephant was like, okay, great. My arm was now exposed. So he started coming in to wrap his trunk around me. What you don't really see or get from the video is that he was literally coming in with his tusks to come pick me up like this, which he did. He got a hook on and he ended up actually scratching me and hooking me and actually started lifting me up ever so slightly. So I was kind of lifted slightly off the chair. But in that moment, my friend's dad, who was the one in front of me, which you can see his back in the video, was the one who was grounded and could make sense of the whole matter and situation. And he told the driver, the ranger, to turn the car on. So the car sound of the start of the engine basically acted as a catalyst to scare the elephant away, because maybe the elephant thought like, oh, this vehicle is an animal that they don't know, don't recognize, and now it's causing a charge or a threatening sound. So it obviously scared off the elephant and the elephant ran. I was obviously frozen and I didn't know what to do. So the best thing I did, and sorry that I did it, but you can't blame me, as I swore, I was like I almost died. I got lifted up, I got punched twice by an elephant, I got his trunk wrapped around me, I got tusked, as I call it, I got like scratched. I was just super stressful. But what is funny is that my friend's family are very Christian and very religious and they don't swear, but they thought it was their aunt who actually said that and not me. And then throughout many dinners and events, which was the story of the year kind of thing, or the highlight, you know, they were just always explaining, like discuss, like, oh, this aunt was always like, why would she swear? You know, they frown upon her. And I never honestly admitted to it because I thought, you know, let me just stay in the good books. Anyway, and another side note, on that same holiday, I caught measles. So I was sick, I was ill, and then I was attacked by an elephant. So it was an event to remember. And I'm really so happy that in whatever way that it manifested, that I was able to record it, because this is something that you would never believe me if I say, like, I got hit in the face twice by an elephant, picked up and tusked, cut, you know. And this is kind of like Ripley's Believe It or Not. You got to see it to believe it. So hopefully this clarifies something. So with the zooming, there was zooming in, not clicking, not flashing, super terrified. I did get picked up, trunk got wrapped around me, punched twice in the face. This was where the camera was. But if you have any more questions, please do drop comments below, because I'm very entertained by this video. And I have so many interesting, unique experiences that I've seeming to be accumulating from around the world that I'm going to be posting within time. Like last year in 2020, I got stuck in South America, trapped in the jungle for 4 months. Because of COVID lockdown. So I was basically like jungle woman for 6 weeks, completely isolated and alone. So I have like a documented diary, which you may be interested in seeing, and whatever other weird and wonderful things that come up. So thanks for watching this, and I will chat to you soon or reply to your comments, and always appreciate support for subscribe. So have a lovely day. Bye, 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 bye.